Okay, everybody, so yesterday we were in the shop and I went over all the parts of the TIG welder, just to kind of introduce you to the machine a little bit. Today I wanted to talk about, the reason why we TIG weld, and so I thought we'd just go through, some of the stuff that we've done so far in here. Shielded metal arc welding, using stick or flux core, MIG welding, which the wire feed welding, which we've done with the inert gas. And then, TIG welding is what we're going over now, which is short for tungsten inert gas. Both of these are basically part of this family gas metal arc welding. We're both using arc welding. Here we're using arc welding as well, but we're not using any shielding gas. We're using the flux for shielding. Now, all of these different processes have advantages and disadvantages. Like with stick, the advantages is it's cheap, it works well outside. Disadvantages, it has dirty welds. MIG welding, it's really easy to do, is the main advantage, produces really nice clean welds. Disadvantage, doesn't work so well outside, and it's kind of expensive. TIG welding, main advantages of TIG welding, we can produce the cleanest, strongest welds with TIG welding. TIG welding's done on really, when you have to have a weld that's going to look really nice, that's when you use TIG welding. If you ever watch any of these shows like American Choppers or the hot rod shows that are on TV where they're building motorcycles or cars or whatever, they're usually using TIG welding when they're doing their really fancy stuff because it's got to look good, and TIG welding looks good, and also it's really, really strong. And you can TIG weld pretty much anything, any thicknesses together. With TIG welding, you can literally TIG weld aluminum foil together. You can TIG weld, you can weld pop cans together. The reason being is because you can constantly vary the amperage. But the disadvantage of TIG welding, as far as actual manufacturing processes, it's slow. TIG welding isn't real fast. Also, it's expensive. The parts of TIG welding cost a lot of money. I mean, these tungsten rods are about $4 or $5 a piece, and so they're considered non-consumable. But they do get ruined in the welding process sometimes, and we do have to replace them. Also, TIG welding's hard. It takes a little bit to get the hang of it. As far as the learning curve goes, it takes students longer to learn how to TIG weld than any other welding process. That's because you have so many variables. You have a filler rod to control. You have an arc length to control. You also have arc amperages to control with your foot. All of these things are a lot more complicated. In these other ones, we were only doing one or two of those things. Now we're doing all three of these things and trying to control the weld. The advantage of that is that by controlling all those different variables, you can produce a really, really nice weld. But learning how to control those different variables and the hand-eye coordination that goes along with it takes some time. It takes some practice. I hope we come back to school so all of you can do some TIG welding, because it's a once you learn how to do it, it's a process that allows you to weld pretty much any steel or any aluminum together. But if we don't, I'm going to touch on it with this lecture and maybe one or two more here as we go down the line. Thanks for a great week, everybody. Have a good weekend.